Good day. My name is David Wild, and this is part one of a three-part lecture on the subject of motivation, Chapter 12 from Connect Master Management 2.0. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to apply general needs theories to motivating employees, to evaluate a job position in order to make it more motivational using the job characteristics model managerial strategies. You'll be able to evaluate how job design considerations can motivate or demotivate employees. You'll be able to analyze the relationship between learning and motivation, to demonstrate how effort, performance, and outcome are related in expectancy theory, and finally, to demonstrate how goals and outcomes are relevant to motivation. So let's begin with a discussion of what is motivation. Motivation can be thought of as a force that reflects the degree to which individuals direct their attention and energy to a specific task or activity with intensity and persistence. This definition includes several elements that should be discussed to clarify exactly what motivation involves. First, it is important to recognize that motivation refers to the direction toward which an individual's attention and energy are focused. In other words, when we refer to motivation, we are referring to doing something specific. Secondly, it is important to understand that motivation also involves intensity, which refers to the level of attention and effort that is focused in a particular direction. Finally, motivation involves persistence, or the degree to which individuals direct their attention and energy continuously or for as long as it takes for them to achieve their objectives. In short, motivation involves the intensity and persistence of one's energy and attention that is directed toward a given activity. So why should we care about motivation? One way to answer this question is to consider the research that has been conducted on engagement, a motivation concept that refers to the degree to which employees are willing to invest all their energies into their roles at work. Engaged employees not only tend to perform more effectively on their core job duties and assigned tasks, but they also tend to go above and beyond their job descriptions by being helpful and courteous to coworkers, to stay involved in organizational matters, and to maintain a positive attitude when minor setbacks do occur. Conversely, disengaged employees can be a problem for both the organization and for the organization's managers. Disengaged employees tend to have lower job performance and are less willing to go above and beyond their job descriptions to do all the little things that make the organization run. The most basic way of understanding motivation is to consider whether it is driven by incentives and rewards on one hand or by pure enjoyment on the other. And this comes down to the concept of extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation refers to the allocation of energies and attention toward a particular activity with intensity and persistence because of some outcome or consequence other than participating in the activity itself. Intrinsic motivation refers to the allocation of energies and attention toward a particular activity with intensity and persistence because of the feeling of satisfaction that results from engaging in that particular activity. So why might understanding the distinction between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation be important? For one thing, there are important implications for how the motivation of employees can be managed. For example, many jobs include tasks that are inherently dissatisfying, such as filling out detailed status reports every week. In this situation, a manager might have to rely on extrinsic motivation to encourage employees to complete those weekly status reports on time. For example, by making requested vacation time contingent on whether those status reports are filled out as required. In contrast, there are jobs where the majority of the tasks are inherently satisfying to employees, such as artists who work for a film studio that specializes in animated movies. Given the power of intrinsic motivation, managers should avoid taking actions that might undermine aspects of work that employees do find intrinsically satisfying. After all, who would want to make a change in the workplace if they knew it would discourage employees from working hard because they actually enjoy doing the work? But which specific aspects of work should managers pay attention to in this regard? According to self-determination theory, people find activities to be satisfying and intrinsically motivating when they fulfill our innate desire for three things. The first is competence, the belief that one can influence some important outcome. The second is relatedness, the sense that one has meaningful and supportive relationships with others. The third is autonomy, one's feeling of control over outcomes. The implications of this theory are straightforward. Managers should avoid taking actions that might reduce the feelings of competence, relatedness, and autonomy employees perceive in their jobs. Doing so would reduce intrinsic motivation, and following from this, rewards, incentives, and so forth will become necessary to encourage employees to put forth the effort to perform well. In fact, researchers have shown that providing extrinsic rewards for performing a task that is inherently satisfying will reduce feelings of autonomy, which, in turn, actually decreases intrinsic motivation and the willingness to perform the task in the absence of incentives. So, in summary, on the subject of what is motivation, one of the most challenging responsibilities for managers is to motivate employees, to influence them so that they direct their attention to job related activities with intensity and persistence. To do this, managers need to understand the differences between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation, and to incorporate variables from various motivational theories into policies and practices so that employees are willing to invest their energies into their work and to perform at peak levels. Now, as we begin our look at motivational theories, it is important to distinguish between content versus process theories of motivation. In regards to content theories, historically speaking, content theories were the first attempts at researching the idea of motivation. As a result, they are the simplest group of motivational theories. Specifically, content theories seek to answer the question, what motivates us? These theories focus on the fulfillment of individual needs and goals, both in a general context and in the workplace. The general needs theories are Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Alderfer's ERG theory, and McClelland's needs theory, which we'll talk about more in a minute. Content theories focusing on workplace needs seek to determine whether intrinsic or extrinsic incentives are appropriate in a given situation. These theories include Hertzberg's two-factor theory and Hackman and Oldham's job characteristics model, which again we will look at more in just a few minutes. Process theories of motivation uh, are distinguished by the following. Content theories seek to find what motivates us. Process theories of motivation focus on how we are motivated. Process theories are more complicated than content theories because they emphasize the process of motivation and not just the identification of motivational variables. In fact, process theories determine how motivational variables, those found in content theories, are combined to develop a process by which we are motivated. Process theories include Skinner's reinforcement theory, Locke's goal-setting theory, Vroom's expectancy theory, and Adams' equity theory, which we'll look at in a subsequent part of the lecture. Now, let's talk about the drive to satisfy needs. One group of motivation theories shares the assumption that the primary motivating force for behavior is a drive to satisfy needs, which can vary in kind as well as intensity. There are three important theories that emphasize needs in this way: Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Alderfer's ERG theory, and McClelland's acquired needs theory. Together, these theories are referred to as the needs theories, and we'll look at each of these here. First, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Perhaps the most famous needs theory was developed by Abraham Maslow. Referred to as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this theory suggests that people are motivated by 5 levels of needs, which are met in a specific hierarchical order. The first being physiological needs, then progressing to safety needs, social needs, fourth, esteem needs, and finally, the fifth level, self-actualization needs. According to this theory, individuals focus their effort and attention on fulfilling needs at the lowest level first, and only after the needs at this level are met do the needs at the next level become relevant to them. This process continues until individuals reach the pinnacle of needs, self-actualization. The logic of Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory is straightforward. Individuals are not motivated to focus on higher level needs such as esteem or self-actualization until their lower level needs such as physiological and safety needs have been satisfied. Next, we'll turn our attention to Clayton Alderfer's ERG theory. This theory centers on the fulfillment of needs that begin with, no surprise, the letters E, R, and G. The explanation is that the needs are, first, E for existence needs. These relate to material issues such as pay and benefits. The R is for relatedness needs. Focus on relationships with other people. And finally, G for growth needs. These are needs that connect to employees' desires to be productive in their task. You may have noticed that these needs overlap with the needs that Maslow identified in his hierarchy of needs theories. Existence needs are similar to physiological and safety needs. Relatedness needs are parallel to social and esteem needs. Finally, Alderfer's growth needs share similarities with self-actualization. However, one crucial difference exists between the two theories. Specifically, Alderfer did not believe needs conform to different levels of a hierarchy, and that lower level needs need to be satisfied first before higher level needs. Instead, Alderfer observed that all three types of needs may be relevant to individuals at the same time, but in varying degrees. Next, we have David McClelland's needs theory. McClelland identified 3 different types of individual needs that people acquire through culture and through other lifelong experiences. First is the need for achievement, the extent to which individuals strive to succeed, to excel, and to achieve a set level of performance. Second is the need for power, the extent to which individuals feel the need to make others behave in a certain way. And thirdly, the need for affiliation, the extent to which individuals feel the need for friendship and close relationships with others. One important implication of McClelland's theory is that the needs are fairly specific, and following from this, the drive to meet these needs is reflected in preferences and behavior that are also fairly specific. For example, individuals with a high need for achievement typically perform well when faced with challenging objectives for which they have a reasonably good chance of success. However, as the odds of success decrease, the motivating power of the objective goal diminishes because the likelihood of achievement declines. So in summary, talking about the needs theories, Needs theories of motivation are based on the idea that people are driven to satisfy innate human needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs suggests that an individual's basic needs, for example, food, shelter, and safety, must be satisfied before higher level needs, the need for social interaction and challenge in one's work, can become relevant to their motivation. Alderfer's ERG theory expanded Maslow's work and proposed that individuals may pursue higher order and lower order needs simultaneously. McClellan believed individuals vary in the importance they place on more specific needs involving achievement, power, and affiliation. And that ends the first part of the lecture on motivation from chapter 12.